Welcome back to the show. Now we are up close and personal with one of these magnetic termite mounds. I gotta tell you, it kind of feels like concrete. Well, they use spit and excrement to build these things. No one's quite sure how long it takes them to construct them, but the tallest one ever is more than 25 feet tall, and you will only find them here in the outback in northern Australia. So I'm sure there's a lot going on back home in Seattle, but I doubt you guys are talking about magnetic termite mounds. Jim?
No, Meeghan, I can't say that we are. What we're talking about is a very special guest coming to our area, Nobel Peace Prize winner and human rights champion Desmond Tutu. He'll be speaking in Tacoma tomorrow, but we had a chance to talk to him a little bit earlier today. He inspired millions with his tireless crusade for justice and racial equality in South Africa. Now, Desmond Tutu is bringing his lifelong message of peace to Tacoma, in hopes of inspiring the young minds of our community's future.
I really just say, oh, you young people are just fantastic, and the world needs you. The world needs you to come and dream God's dream.
Tutu's appearance is part of the Greater Tacoma Community Foundation Be the Spark movement, a group effort by the foundation and numerous community and educational organizations to promote youth leadership skills and prevent youth violence in Pierce County. As a living example of how one person can make a difference in the lives of millions, Tutu believes all of us have the same power to make a positive impact in the world we live in.
None of us can ever say, I'm too small, I'm too ungifted. We're each gifted. We're each able to do something that makes the world a slightly better place.
If you'd like to go see Desmond Tutu live in person, he'll be speaking at the Tacoma Dome tomorrow at 7:30. Tickets are available through Ticketmaster. Meeghan, throw another shrimp on the barbie. Back to you.
Thanks, Jim. Well, in the center of Australia, a rock rises 348 meters, or about 1,100 feet, out of the desert. It's Uluru, or Ayers Rock, and it's sacred. Even though the Aborigines are the traditional owners, you too can experience the more than 50,000 years of culture. Ask why Uluru stands so prominently in the desert, and Gloria Moneymoon will tell you. In the words of her ancestors. Gloria speaks Pitjantjatjara, and with the help of a translator, shares stories of how Aboriginal spirits created Uluru long ago.
Gloria was just pointing out Minmakunya, or the ancestral Woma woman, where she's left some tracks on the rock as she slithered across after her return here to Uluru.
Gloria is one of several Ananu guides who wanted to give tourists an inside look at what makes this place sacred.
And they thought to themselves that no one was really teaching them the right way about this place, so that's why they started their own tour company, Ananu Tours, and it's for those visitors that come here that want to experience the rock in the real way.
Gloria's walk retraces the path of her ancestors. Along the way, she explains how Kunya, a woman python, lived here more than 40,000 years ago.
Then she slithered through this area, and this section of the rock up here is where she's come across Uluru, or a poisonous snake man.
If anyone should question the truth behind these ancient stories, Gloria points to the rock. All the physical evidence is right there, in plain sight.
She struck him in the head once, which gives you that small crack on the right-hand side.
The Ananu people take great pride in sharing Uluru's history, and because they believe so strongly in its power and spirit, they politely ask visitors not to take pictures of sacred areas or climb the rock out of respect for their culture.
So Gloria would just like to emphasise that rather than climb the rock, to come out, come on the tours and still enjoy the sunset and sunrises.
If Gloria looked familiar to you, she was Oprah's guide when she had her Australian adventure. Well, the Aboriginal people are also known for their art that shares their people and their land. And if you head to Alice Springs in the Red Center, you will be in the Aboriginal art capital of the world. There, new artists are keeping those old traditions alive. Even though Alice Springs isn't very big, it has a lot of Aboriginal art galleries.
For a town this size, there must be close to a couple of dozen Aboriginal art galleries or art centres in the area, so there's a lot here.
Dale Jennings is a manager at Mabantu, a gallery that showcases artists from a remote area nearby called Utopia.
And from Utopia, there's mostly women that paint as well, so you'll get to see a lot of different colours in their artwork, a lot of different styles, because they're really trying to come up with creative ways to teach their culture.
Sasha Long is an artist from Utopia who learned how to paint in the style of her ancestors when she was just 12 years old.
I learned with my grandmother. She'll teach me how to paint. I learned to painting like these ones, leaves. Yes.
Just like her grandmother, Sasha begins with a blank black canvas. She fills the void with vivid brushstrokes. Originally, Aboriginal Australians drew on rocks, trees, and in the sand to tell stories of what's called Dreamtime.
The vast majority of Aboriginal art represents Dreamtime stories. Probably the easiest way to describe that is that it's a representation of their culture. So it's their source of life. It's things that they teach and they pass down from generation to generation.
Sasha's art is inspired by the Australian emu.
My dreaming is emu.
Emus eat wildflowers, and that's what Sasha paints. Her work is on display at the gallery alongside that of many young artists who are keeping the dream alive in Alice Springs, the Aboriginal art capital of Australia. If you'd like to check out Sasha's latest work, we'll put a link to that art gallery at king5.com.
We'll be back with more Evening Magazine from Undiscovered Australia in just a moment.
Now, these are Florence Falls here at Litchfield National Park in the Northern Territories of Australia. These falls never stop gushing at this rate, even at the height of the dry season, and that's because they're naturally fed from spring water underground. Absolutely amazing. And because it is the wet season right now, look at how lush and gorgeous this is. Unbelievable. Well, we certainly hope that you have enjoyed our week-long series on Undiscovered Australia. If you're interested, Joe Michaels has a special offer for you.
There's nothing like Australia, a land of adventure and friendly locals. And it's easier and less expensive than you think. For a limited time, Down Under Answers right here in Seattle is offering Evening Magazine viewers the chance to visit Sydney and Australia's Outback Northern Territory and save almost $2,000. Find the information at king5.com. Meeghan, back to you.
Thanks, Joe, and thank you so much for watching. Again, be sure to tune in tomorrow night for a special half-hour Undiscovered Australia. And as they say down under, cheerio, everyone.
Travel support provided by Qantas Airways, with daily flights to Australia featuring outstanding service, premium food and wine, and the finest in international travel aboard the A380 aircraft. Go to Qantas.com to plan your visit. Enjoy the journey.